Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a tiger. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the front part of the body. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. To the right, draw another circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. This circle should be slightly smaller than the first circle. The tiger's body is stretching as it runs, so don't place the circles too close together or the body will be too short. On the left side, draw a small circle as a guide for the head. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle as well. First make 4 small marks to indicate the sides of the circle, and then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Place the head circle close to the first circle. This circle should be about half the size of the first circle. On the bottom left side of the head, draw a small angled line as a guide for the muzzle. The shape of the muzzle should be similar to a square. Pay attention to the size of the muzzle in relation to the head. On top of the head, draw a small arc as a guide for the ear. The ear should be small in relation to the head. Draw a sloping line across the head to help you place the facial features later on. Draw a long angled line under the first circle as a guide for the front leg. Bend the line a couple of times to indicate the joints and the foot. Pay attention to the length of the line in relation to the first circle. Under the circle on the right, draw a long diagonal line as a guide for the hind leg. Connect the head to the body using curved lines to create the guide for the neck. The shape of the neck should be wider on the right side. Connect the circles in the middle using longer lines to finish the guide for the torso. Curve the lines to indicate the back and the chest. On the top right side of the body, draw a long wavy line as a guide for the tail. The tail should be long in relation to the body. Under the first circle, draw another long angled line as a guide for the other front leg. Bend the line to indicate the joint and the foot. Pay attention to the difference between this line and the line for the other front leg. On the right side of the body, draw a long diagonal line as a guide for the other hind leg. Bend the line a couple of times in the middle to indicate the joints. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Place the eye above the sloping line and close to the top edge of the muzzle. When you get the size and position of the eye right, darken the shape. Draw a short sloping line for the top of the eye. On the bottom left side, draw 2 short lines for the inner corner of the eye. Darken the bottom part of the eye using a short sloping line. The shape of the eye should be similar to a greater than sign. In the middle of the eye, draw a tiny dot for the pupil. Inside the muzzle, lightly sketch a small triangular shape for the nose. Place the nose on top of the sloping line and up against the front of the muzzle. When you get the position of the nose right, darken the lines. Use a curved line to darken the top part of the nose. On the right side, draw a short wavy line for the nostril. Darken the left side of the nose using a short curved line. Under the nose, draw a line that curves to the right for the first part of the mouth. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the line when you get the shape right. Extend the mouth to the right so that it's inside the head circle. Darken the left side of the guide for the front of the muzzle. Draw a line on top of the nose for the top part of the muzzle. Darken the bottom part of the guide to create the chin. Use short strokes as you darken the guide for a furry texture. Follow the basic path of the guide as you draw the chin. Use the arc on top of the head as a guide to draw the ear. Darken the arc but make the lines wavier. Extend the bottom of the ear so that it's inside the head circle. Draw a curved line inside the shape for the ear's opening. On the left side, draw a small arc for the other ear. Use the other shapes as guides to draw the rest of the head. Darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the head. Use short strokes as you darken the bottom section to create a furry texture. Extend the lines farther to the right so that the head is wider. Use the angled line on the left side of the body as a guide to draw the front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the shape of the leg wider at the base and then gradually make it thinner toward the foot. Curve the shape of the leg around the guideline to indicate the joints. The base of the leg should be inside the body. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Use curved lines as you darken the shape to indicate the muscle structure. Add a few short strokes along the bottom for a furry texture. Use a curved line to create the front part of the foot. Inside the foot, draw a few short curved lines to separate the toes. Place the toes along the front edge of the foot. Use the angled line below as a guide to draw the other front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. The top part of this leg will be hidden behind the first front leg, so only draw the visible section. When you get the shape right, darken the lines. Curve the shape at the bottom to create the foot. Draw a few curved lines inside the foot to separate the toes. Don't overlap the first front leg as you draw this leg. Use the long diagonal line on the right side as a guide to draw the hind leg. Just like with the front legs, first lightly sketch the shape of the hind leg around the guideline. Make the top part of the leg wide and then gradually make it thinner toward the bottom. Curve the lines around the guide to create the joints. Make the bottom part curved for the foot. The top part of the leg should be inside the body. When you get the shape right, darken the lines. Curve the lines to indicate the muscles. Draw a few curved lines along the bottom part of the foot to separate the toes. Use the angled line above as a guide to draw the other hind leg the same way. Sketch the leg lightly around the guideline and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Don't overlap the first hind leg as you draw this leg. Curve the shape to indicate the joints in the middle. At the bottom, draw a few curved lines to separate the toes. Now use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the underside of the body to create a furry texture. Darken the wavy line on the top right side to create the tail. Add another wavy line to create the bottom edge of the tail. The tip of the tail should be curved. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. Don't worry about erasing all of the guidelines, it's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now add the distinctive stripes all over the body. Draw each stripe as a thin pointy shape and shade it in. Draw small stripes around the eye and then gradually make the stripes bigger on the right side of the head. Add a dark section under the mouth. On the right side of the nose, draw rows of dots for the bases of the whiskers. Don't draw stripes on the front part of the head. Make the stripes longer along the body. Curve the stripes to conform to the shape of the body. Make the stripes smaller on the legs. Make the stripes thicker on the tip of the tail. Sketch the stripes lightly at first and then darken them when you get the shapes right. Tigers can have a variety of stripes, so you can draw yours differently if you'd like. Now shade the rest of your drawing. Use a value that's lighter than the stripes as you shade the rest of the tiger. It's okay to overlap the stripes as you shade. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. Don't shade the area around the eye and on the bottom part of the head and body for the white fur. Shade using strokes that go in the direction of the fur. Now add shadows throughout the body using a medium value. Use a light value for the base of the coat, a medium value for the shadows, and a dark value for the stripes. Add a shadow at the bottom using a medium value. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the tiger. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.